Hello everyone, and welcome to Lancelot's Nerd Corner, where I'm proud to present another 6-scale figure review. Today, we're going retro to take a retrospective look at BvS Batman by Hot Toys, and I'm really glad to be giving you my honest and detailed account of the figure. Now, this figure was originally released all the way back in 2016, 6 years ago, so it might not be in stock anymore in places you shop at. But the purpose of this retrospective is more so to give you an idea of what you can expect if you do decide to pick this figure up today, and to investigate just how well this figure holds up after all this time. Starting with the head sculpt, the entire cowl is technically the head sculpt, including the area around the neck, because it's all one fixed piece. It's made out of hard rubber, and I think that was a great choice because it did look a bit rubbery in the movie. My favorite thing about the cowl is definitely the sculpted expression on the brow and nose. The brows are rounded on the ends and the nose is scrunched up, so Batman looks perpetually grumpy and menacing. Another subtle detail is that the cowl itself is sculpted to make the neck look a little hunched forward to visually represent an older Batman under that cowl. The cowl also features 3 interchangeable eyes, which include a neutral eye position, one that's looking slightly more upwards, and one looking to the left. But to be honest, they're a bit of a pain in the ass to switch out. You have to use this plastic prong that Hot Toys provides to either pry out or insert the interchangeable eyes into the cowl. Although at some point it will actually be easier to push them in using your fingers instead, as the plastic prong can be very finicky, and it does seem that Hot Toys themselves knows how challenging it can be to switch these eyes out, since the most recent Affleck Batman, the Nightmare Batman, doesn't include interchangeable eyes anymore. Along with the eyes, the cowl comes with 3 interchangeable faceplates, in a neutral, slightly open, and gritted teeth expression. Being the first on-screen iteration of Batfleck, this BvS Batman was Hot Toys' first crack at Ben Affleck's likeness, and they pretty much nailed it. All the faceplates are sculpted really well, and Affleck's likeness is quite recognizable on the cowl, especially thanks to the lips and that strong cleft chin. There's also good attention to detail with the light beard stubble, although it was more of a 5 o'clock shadow in the movie, so I think the stubble should have been darker. The skin tone of the face is also painted very tan and dark, whereas Ben Affleck's is more pale. That being said, looking at photos and videos of the Nightmare Batman faceplates, you can tell that Hot Toys has still continued to improve in this department. Lastly, switching them out is very simple and straightforward, as you use the same plastic tool to pop out the faceplate and insert it into the small socket, which is a method that Hot Toys still uses today, like with the DX19 Batman. Now let's move on to the figure itself, and I have to preface this right at the start. I have very quickly developed an intense love-hate relationship with the suit, because it looks simply outstanding, and Hot Toys really nailed the beauty of the BvS Batsuit. But the materials they used cause a few huge problems with the longevity of the figure, which is what we're here to investigate. So the entire suit is dark gray and has that wiry, sinewy sort of design with all those lines going across in different directions. It's tightly fitted to the body, but loose fitting in particular areas such as the elbows, and has a slight elasticity to it. It's also very sticky for some reason. This might be because I live in a very humid part of the world, and after being stuck in the box all these years, the suit might have developed this layer of stickiness, which makes handling the figure in any way a risky operation. And despite the slight flexibility of the material, if 2 areas of the suit come into contact with one another, such as when bending the elbow, those areas risk sticking together and then peeling off. In fact, you can see exactly where the packaging's plastic cover peeled off these 2 patches from the knees. To make matters worse, there are areas where you can clearly see rips, tears, and peels in the suit's material, on the abdomen and both arms. The peeling/flaking issues with the suit have been well known with this figure, so I wasn't too surprised, and I can ease my mind by just viewing it as battle damage. But I am very much disappointed that it happened almost as soon as I took it out of the box. And to make it clear, I did not get this figure used. I got this mint and sealed box, which makes these issues a bit more troubling. Underneath the suit is a very solid and robust body with stiff ratcheted joints, which I'm pleased to report are still not loose in any way. At first glance, the beefiness of the body looks appropriate, but upon revisiting the film, the figure actually should have had more bulk. The front of the torso is padded to add some size, but it's not quite enough, so a D-Knight style mod to add some beefiness might be in order. And the common issue that some collectors had with the front of the cowl covering the top of the bat symbol is thankfully not present with my figure. The abdomen is what really makes this figure look so imposing, with very defined abs and obliques, and even the serratus anterior, which all serve to make this Batman look like a tank. However, another big issue with the suit's longevity is the yellow discoloration that has occurred with my figure around the abdomen, arms, and thighs. Fortunately, under certain lighting conditions and from afar, the yellowish patches aren't that noticeable, but it does look a shade lighter than the rest of the suit. The utility belt is painted a deep shade of gold, but it's got loads of weathering that make it look really faded. You'll also notice a bunch of scratches, paint chips, and faded paint on all the various pouches and canisters. It really shows you how this belt has been through every war and battle that this Batman has fought, as if he never bothered to remove it from the suit. Speaking of which, the belt is removable simply by pulling off the belt buckle from the left side. Although the last time I removed the belt, it peeled off some pieces of the suit, so I won't be doing that again. Both the gauntlets and boots are made of hard rubber, but are painted and sculpted to look like real leather, which I think Hot Toys did a good job with, as you can see all the sculpted texture that really sells the look. The golden gauntlet spikes have a ton of weathering and scratches similar to the utility belt, and they are very sharp. Like, really sharp, so please be careful when handling the figure. The boots are split cut design and have a lot of nicely sculpted details, like the zipper on the side, the wrinkles and creases, and the tread on the bottom. The last thing about the figure we have to go over is the cape, which is utterly horrendous. It's made out of a thin, leatherish material with this dry faux felt or faux suede fabric on the inside. It feels terrible to touch, almost like toilet paper even, and it drapes down horribly as well, especially because it has a pleated design, but it's way too wrinkled and heavy to maintain its shape. It also has no wires, which means you have no choice but to have a horrible draped look. There is a bit of light weathering of dried dirt and mud on the bottom of the cape, but in the middle area there's a big patch where it seems the cape either peeled or flaked, which I don't think was intentional. The only redeemable quality about it is what's hiding underneath the cape. That bat booty is just... damn. Now that we've covered the entire figure, booty and all, let's go over all the accessories the figure comes with. The figure comes with the interchangeable faceplates and eyes that we already covered, as well as a display base, grenade gun, 2 kryptonite grenades, a grapnel gun, 5 interchangeable hooks, a branding iron, 4 batarangs, and 4 pairs of hands. The display base is this big base with a textured surface that makes it look like asphalt. In the middle is a Batfleck style bat symbol with the Superman logo looking like it was branded within, thanks to some orange and yellow coloring on the inside. You can actually pop the bat symbol up, but it's not very practical as you can no longer get the figure standing on the base. Lastly, there's a silver plaque with Batman and the name of the movie in the front, and it uses a pole with a unique style of crotch grabber. The grenade gun is a really beautifully made accessory that has amazing sculpted details and textures, especially around the barrel, rail, and grip. It even has a bit of articulation with the extendable stock and is brought to life with a light coat of weathering. The grenade gun is accompanied by 2 kryptonite grenades, one open and one closed, both of which you can slot inside the barrel of the gun. They're both sculpted surprisingly well, and Hot Toys made sure to capture even the smallest and finest of details. Similarly, the grapnel gun also has finely sculpted details and is appropriately weathered throughout. I really like in particular the detail of this wheel on the right side and the paint of the wood grain on the handle. In addition, Hot Toys supplies 5 tips for the grapnel gun, 2 regular tips, 1 open tip, 1 with a bent wire, and 1 with an extended wire. They are really quite small, and Hot Toys did the best they could with such tiny accessories. The branding iron is another small accessory that is painted and sculpted well enough, with not too much to write home about. The bat symbol on the brand itself looks great, although it would have been cool if it was painted like it was freshly heated, especially because there isn't much weathering throughout the accessory. The batarangs are all identical and are the standard Batfleck style batarangs that Hot Toys used as the blueprint for all future Batfleck Batman figures, much like many of these accessories for that matter. The tips are quite sharp, by the way, so do be mindful of that. Lastly, the hands come in a pair of fists, relaxed, gun holding, 1 brand holding, and 1 pinching gesture. They are all sculpted and painted with amazing quality and have excellent details such as the wrinkles, the gold metal on the knuckles, and the textured padding on the palm. I usually finish my reviews with articulation, but I don't want to excessively move the figure due to the suit's already degrading condition, so I hope you can understand why I won't be articulating the figure on camera. However, the instruction manual it comes with has full instructions on essentially every bit of articulation, so you can pause to read it here. And every joint has stiff ratchets, and combined with the suit's flexibility, you can get generally satisfactory articulation out of this figure. The way that Hot Toys translated the Batsuit on the screen to a 1/6 scale figure was near perfect, and the shelf presence this particular Batman has is undeniably eye-catching. The imposing look of this figure is and always will be timeless. Unfortunately, what is not timeless is the suit's material, which is very susceptible to all types of degradation over time, cracks, rips, and peels. And you really need to prepare yourself for this if you want to pick this figure up today. But if you're willing to take the risk and you really want this particular Batman on your shelf, I highly doubt you'll be disappointed, even after all this time. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you found this retro review helpful. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.